Hey everybody, this is another tutorial from Missy Deluxe. This is going to be a painting tutorial in 7 Days to Die. Now, I did this original video not too long ago and something happened and the recording just stopped. So, we had no video, so I'm doing this again. So, hopefully I don't forget anything. So, of course, what you're going to need is you're going to need paint and a paintbrush. So, that's pretty much it. Now, if you press R, this will give you access to the color pickers in here to choose whatever your pattern you want to paint with. Now, just be aware that you do need a, let's go in here. You do need to have, I forgot to turn on creative mode. You do need to have painting books. So if you type in paint, these are all the different types of painting books that you can have. And they range from decorations, there's faux, masonry, metal, wall coverings, and wooden roofing. So all of these you get throughout the world as you're looting and things like that. Now, there's different tools that you have for different modes. So we're going to turn creative mode off for a moment. And I'll show you here. When I press R, that's the menu that you see for all the different textures. If I hold R, you'll see this little flyout menu. So we have materials, we have texture picker, paint roller, and paintbrush. Materials is that window, as you can see. The paintbrush means that you paint one square at a time, like this. And if you hold in R, you can continue moving along a wall. If you just click once, it will paint the block and it will stop. So you can also have the option to erase the wall by holding in the left mouse button. And left, as you can see, erases it. Put your hand up there and it looks like you're erasing somebody's face. So now, you can also choose to use the paint roller. Again, by holding R. And if you choose paint roller, it paints an entire 3x3. This is extremely handy when you're painting a big wall like that, in order to get the 3x3 that you want. So again, a little bit more handy. Sometimes you will get this happen because it's considered part of the 3x3 block. So if that happens, switch back to your brush and just left click to take that off. Because again, it does a 3x3. So, and I think it's a 3x3 chunk. So it's like, it works that it does the 3 in front as well as the 3 here, I think. I'm not sure. But it ended up painting that one anyway. So, so you can basically choose any texture you like. Now, if you go back and you erase, as you can see, it's going right down to the wood instead of back to this green. Because this wood is the texture, but instead of going back to the green that it was painted in, it'll go back to the wood, as you can see. And that's because the game itself has chosen these textures on top of wood, or on top of, like, this is all, kind of default stuff that the game does to make it look like they're different rooms and, things like that. So keep that and bear that in mind when you come into a POI. If you don't like the color of the floor because it looks ugly, if you do have a paintbrush, you can always return this back to its original wood state if you like. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. Now, there is other tools that you can use. This is called the texture picker. So, say you paint that texture and then you press R and say you go with the wall oven and say you want to put on 3 wall ovens to make it look like it's a kitchen with ovens. Now, say you change your mind and you decide, well, I'd rather use this texture there. Then if you hold R and you choose texture picker, if you look at the bottom of my screen where my paintbrush is, it will change to the beer icon. Then if you go, nah, I like that one instead, press R, texture picker, and it puts it back. So that's really handy if you're painting a wall with patterns. And, say you've got some wood and say you've got some green like this. And then you think, well, I want that green on this wall. Then you can do the same thing, texture picker, and put the green back on the wall over here. So now you can't pick all textures, but most you can. That being a paintbrush. or paint, sorry, you can actually choose that texture as well. And you could do a few more of those paintings on the wall without actually having the painting. Very handy, because you don't have to have the painting itself. You can just put it on the wall without it. So again, very cool little tidbit to know about. I don't know if we can choose some stuff. You can choose the texture. No, see, now it chooses red because it didn't have the fridge texture. So see, now it's not painting anything, as you can see. Oh, okay, so it's done that because it didn't have the texture. So now we can choose, I don't know, cabinet red side, and we can just, you know, paint that color around the TV. And again, you can use this for your houses to make very, very nice houses. So now you can paint most blocks in the game. The only thing you cannot paint is a door. As you can see, you can't paint that, which I hope they introduce that soon. But see, you can paint any block that's creatable or, you know, built by you, kind of thing. Even these little things, that's kind of cool. Okay, so now another thing to be aware of, if you do press, oops, no, I want this one. If you go into creative mode, now as you can see, creative mode is on. If I press R now, oops, it's still the same there. But if I hold R, now you're going to see this big, huge flyout. So one of the good things about this is it has this little feature, which is a spray gun. So if I click that, it's going to paint the entire room. Well, most of it anyway. So again, very fast way of painting a POI that you've come into to get a nice solid color. But again, it's only creative mode tool only, which I don't understand that really. Excuse me. But again, it's very helpful if you're trying to, you know, do something for a tutorial like I'm doing. You can't paint the chairs, of course. But again, it's extremely helpful when you're trying to paint an entire room and if you want to do it really quickly. But be aware these are only available under creative menu. Another one you have is paint all sides. So if you put a block down and it's going to be kind of in the middle of the room and you're going to see it from all sides, you may want to paint all sides. But again, the paint all sides, the spray gun, the replace paint, copy block, those are all only creative only. So, you know, it's kind of a downside. I do wish this one was included. I don't see why the paint all sides is not, but that doesn't seem like it should be a creative tool to me. Yeah, so now if you want to unpaint the whole place, another quick way is just doing it like this, right? And you can return it all to look like the wood. And it ends up looking back to the way it was when it started. So, again, just an option that you can use these creative tools if you're on a single play by yourself and you want to use creative menu. You know, they're really good, too, if you want to create events for your 7 Days to Die. You know, you wanted to do, you know, a car race or other things like that. You can, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of, you know, cool little tools that you can do. You can also paint letters as well. So if you want to put some letters across the top of a building, sometimes when you put them on, as you can see, it's a little bit hard to see. It can blend in. Oops. That's not what we wanted. So we're going to go back to the paint option. And you can paint each one of these blocks individually. So that they stand out, you know. So depending on the color of your wall, if you want to use these letters, they're actually very nice to use. So again, there's not a whole lot to really show you, but the painting option can be very, very fun. There's lots of different textures that you can choose from. You can also, you know, do a house and you can put these on the ends to make it look like it's a log home, you know, built out of these log ends kind of thing. So again, so this was another tutorial. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If there's anything you think I forgot or anything you want to know, just leave me a comment and I will definitely respond to every single comment. So again, guys, this has been another 7 Days to Die tutorial. Thank you so much for stopping in, everybody, and have yourselves a great day. I'll see you in the next video.